Welcome to Top Fives, the show of everything. Top Fives, presented by the Sex Effects. I'm Joey Prati.
And I'm Sean Day.
And folks, we have a wonderful finale in store for you. We're going to look back at our past, look to the future, and enjoy the present. But before we get to all the presents, Jonathan, how are you, sir?
This has been quite overwhelming. We have a lot of guests here today. They're kind of over here. A lot of family and friends here, and we're at Joe and Alicia's casa right now. So abode.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's been I think it's been a while since we've all been together. I think all of us together in this room.
This
so
is the first time all of us have been in one
space like this, but. Yeah, doing okay. I'm having a baby in like another month and a few weeks, so this is also another reason why we're doing this show. I'm going to be taking some time off, and just really excited for this next stage in our life. And but this show has been so dear to us, and we've been doing it for a few years now. So
7 years.
7 years. Which Joey actually sent me some of our first episodes that our test episodes that we did. We call them the lost episodes.
I call them test-a-bodes.
Test-a-bodes, whatever. So we might be releasing those sometime in the future, but it's been always a fun time just kind of getting together, and especially for Joey and I, being best friends, but also not living in the same city anymore together. Over the years, it's been a good way to keep in touch and and just kind of geek out.
Project.
Yeah, geek out on movies and music and all sorts of stuff. So
And I have, over the 7 years, grown to hate everything. So it's time to wrap it up.
We had a 100th episode. I don't know when in Monterey, and we had kind of a live show.
17, I think.
Yeah. So it's a rare occasion that we're both in the same room together, which is really cool. And we kind of have a format for us tonight where we're going to be revisiting some old lists, and we'll have some guests and friends and family on. So we're just kind of celebrating the show tonight. So I'm really excited for this, and we just had a really nice dinner, and just really happy for everyone to be here. So
Yes, good way to put it. Good way to put it. Thank you, Shawnee. This is. I listened back to our first episode, and in it I say that, all right, this is the day after my mom's birthday. So that was July 23rd, 2015. So we're just shy of 7 years of, this exercise in narcissism. And it's a good time. Yes, you coined that. And and a big thank you to Alicia, because, I was trying to figure out how we're going to do this. And you were like, just have it here and low pressure and invite the people you love. And, if anything, this room is a testament to friends that are family and family that are friends. And so thank you all for being here. This is going to be fun. Low stakes, no pressure. And should we call up our first?
yeah.
Mr. Michael Day, would you like to come up and join us? All right, hello, welcome. Come get close. So we have these categories to choose from: superheroes and Star Wars, miscellaneous, movies and TV, video games, music, and food. So you get to choose what we're going to talk about. Music. All right. That's in superheroes. All right, so London Calling, very nice. We're going to talk about our top 5 favorite songs off of the seminal record of The Clash, London Calling, their third record, released in 1979. Mr. Michael Day, would you like to kick it off and tell us your favorite tracks from London Calling?
Yeah.
It's thinking real hard.
Now I've got to remember 5 tracks from London Calling. One of my favorites has always been The Clamp Down. Just a great song. Kind of a little different song for The Clash, to be honest. But still got that same drive and the same energy and everything. But I just think a really compelling song, really, really fun to listen to. And just another one of many. 5 songs off the album is tough, right?
It's very tough.
Because you could say, give me 15 songs off the album, and you'd probably be, or just give me the whole album. But Clamp Down, I'll take, and these are in no particular order, because I couldn't remember them in any particular order. But I'll take Clamp Down as my number 5.
All right. Give us your whole 5.
Oh God.
Yeah. Precious song.
Well, I mean, the title track, London Calling, it's a great way to start an album, right?
Yeah.
It's a superb song. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and every time I hear it still makes me think of the good old days.
The good old days.
The good old days.
Cool. All right.
So,
because you have seen the Clash
yeah,
live,
many
right?
times. Yeah. So I think London Calling, real big favorite of mine. Number 3, Card Cheat. Really a fantastic song. Great. It's kind of a story that just builds and builds, and it's revealing the whole way along. So I love it. It's different again for the Clash. It's not like it's not like you had the Clash and then you got what was that second album that I can't stand all the time? Give Enough Rope. This is like totally different, completely different, right? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's see. So number 2, I'm going to go with Rudy Can't Fail.
Oh, that's a great track.
Yeah. I love that song. I like the fact that they've kind of blended in a little bit of, kind of not quite fully reggae, but it's got a little bit of that vibe. Yeah, and it feels, it's got so many things that made the Clash good.
It's got like style.
Yeah. So I think it's a really good song. It's a fun sing-along song as well. For the last time I had a sing-along to the Clash, that was certainly in my top 5. So that would be my number 2, I think. And my number 1, I'm going to go with Brand New Cadillac. It's just a fun little song. It's not very long, but it's got that killer guitar sound at the beginning. Yeah. And then it's a drive. It's got a lot going on in it. And I think one of the things that's interesting about that album in general is it's just not, it's atypical for the Clash from what they did previously, but it's so telling as to what kind of a band that they became. A lot of depth and a lot of really some great songwriting, some great interpretation of other people's songs, which they always did anyway. And so I think it's it's an epic record, as we've talked about on many occasions. And like I said, I could probably pick another, 70 songs from that album, even though there's like 20 songs on it. So how's that? 5. All right, see you.
Check it. Kind of similar to, I think all those songs you mentioned are probably my favorites. Although there's one, Lost in the Supermarket is another one on that record. It's got that cool, I love the bass line on it and everything. Disco sound. I think that's the reason why I think the Clash has always connected with us too. And I remember because of disco. Yeah.
Right.
No, I think it's the diversity of their sound. I think they, especially for being labeled kind of a punk band at the time, 70s, right? They took the liberties of what the punk sound should be. Is like you should do whatever you can, do whatever kind of style you want. It wasn't just one kind of thing, and they did so well to explore that. So, Lost in the Supermarket.
Great song. Yeah.
Clamp Down. You said. London Calling, probably number 3 for me. 2, Rudy Can't Fail, and I think 1, I'm going to agree with you, is going to be Brand New.
Did you take my entire
5? Supermarket wasn't on there, so.
That's not how this is supposed to work. Right?
What? Those are.
Joey,
Okay.
whatever that guy said.
Clamp Down will be my 1. because I do like that song. It's very driving and everything. And yeah, I think it's a good testament to the energy and sound of The Clash. And it's still one of my favorite albums of all time, London Calling. So there we go.
Very nice. I'm going to go Spanish Bombs. Fun one.
Great song.
I know, it used to be on your list. I guess not anymore. Lost in the Supermarket. I know you already said it, but fuck you. We both love that song. I'm going to go Coca-Cola. Great song about capitalism and all that. Death or Glory. Great song. And then I'm going to go number one, Jimmy Jazz. Jimmy Jazz is such an atypical, it's got this, it's a story song, but it's kind of slow, but it's constantly moving. And you can tell they're all just having a lot of fun. Joe Strummer is just talking gibberish throughout that whole song, and it's a lot of fun. And then we can see what we said last time. Shawnee, you had Rudy Can't Fail at 5, Train in Vain. Oh, we forgot Train in Vain, Jesus. Death or Glory, Lost Supermarket, Clamp Down. Okay, yes. And then I had Card Cheat, Coca-Cola, Jimmy Jazz, Death or Glory, and Lost in the Supermarket. So I was fairly right on. But but there we go. That's our first list done. Thank you. Thank you for being our first. There might be more later. We don't know.
Am I excused?
You are excused.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. What?
We have reserved around 15-minute blocks per person, but let's let him go and come back later.
Yeah.
All right.
Our executive producer, Alicia Martinez.
I keep it on track.
All right, Ken and Kathy, would you like to join us?
Both of you, come!
Welcome. You don't have to, but you have to. So you get to choose your topic. As you should. We're talking food, kids. They won the Super Bowl. Just chill out. All right. So what are your guys' top 5 favorite hangover food?
French fries.
Anything greasy. Chips.
Good pick. Yes.
More moves.
What is it? 3. That's only 3. I don't know.
Maybe we'll talk about. I don't do Taco Bell, but
Late night T-Bell run.
Leftover pizza. That's 5.
I want to do something that I don't have to work for it if I'm hungover. I don't want to have to get up and make anything. If I'm hung, I need it already done.
That's the leftovers.
Hangovers. Geez. Like a good burrito. Good breakfast burrito the next day is always good. I'm gonna go you guys with French fries, like just kind of like a burger and French fries or something greasy. Let's see. There's so many ways you can go with this one. 'Cause you don't want to get like you don't want to have like something that's like too much, because then you'll feel sick again. Or, like continue being sick. So I'm gonna go with like, I don't know. It's been tough. Let's see. I'm gonna go with. I already said, I guess, burger and French fries. So maybe I can't.
It's your show.
Okay. Good French fries. Good French fries, and then outside that, a burger is my like third choice for that. Like a nice burger. I love like ramen, and like kind of soup is always good to get the sweat out. Kind of get a little spiciness in there too, so you can sweat the alcohol out. So ramen, and then for my last one, no particular order for this one too, because I feel like any of this could be what I would eat the next day. But I don't know. What else have I been eating? You know what? I had some Filipino food today with my mom and my uncle. So, greasy Filipino food would probably be the next part of this. So there you go.
Very good. Guess what? I was hungover this whole time.
I wasn't hungover today.
I would do leftover pasta, absolutely. A brunch burger, which is a burger with an egg on top. I would do leftover pizza. I would do our friends at Hole in the Wall Coffee, the Cocoa Cold Brew. It is an iced coffee, and then when you order it, he smashes open a coconut, and you pour the coconut milk into the iced coffee, but then you get to keep the entire rest of the coconut. So, and it brings you back. It really does bring you back. And then Jameson on the rocks. That's when you wake up and you're shaking like an old car, in need of oil. There you go. That's. Would you like to do another quick one? You can do food. Yeah. Go for it.
5 more minutes.
Is that the list, though?
Just say recipes. Top 5 recipes. Yeah.
Top 5 recipes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Dad's famous pizza that he used to make.
Oh yeah, the hobo pizza.
Toast, ketchup, and some salami.
No, say it into the microphone.
Toast, ketchup, and salami, little cheese under the broiler. Are you kidding me? Could it get any better than that? Ice cream, great recipe of any kind.
What are your favorite recipes?
Zucchini bread,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
cracker brittle.
Yes. Yes. That should be your number one, Kathy. Cracker brittle.
Chicken.
Breaded chicken, very good.
Pasta, any kind of pasta sauce.
I think my grandmother's eggplant.
Okay.
Malaysian.
I think that's kind of, yeah.
Wonderful. Shawnee,
Recipes.
you gotta.
Sorry, recipes. Let's see here. I make a good stir fry. It's like a chicken stir fry with veggies and kind of like teriyaki sauce. So I do that pretty decently. I can make a pretty good shepherd's pie, going from the English heritage right there. Yeah, it's actually really good. I should make some for you, Kathy. So some shepherd's pie. And then going on my mom's side, I make a pretty good chicken adobo, which is a nice kind of Filipino dish. I've been making, I've been making like fried rice recently, and it's kind of easy because like you could just kind of put whatever kind of veggies you want in it, and it's just rice, veggies, and a little bit of soy sauce. That's pretty much it. And then another good and ratatouille. I made ratatouille for Dallas, which actually it takes a little bit more time than you think, but it's a very simple dish to put together. You just have to create the pasta sauce and get zucchini and eggplant and yellow squash, and you cut them into very thin slices. You make the sauce. You line up all the little eggplants and everything in this kind of circular pattern, and then you put a little stuff over the top, and that's it. Yeah. So,
Just like the rat.
just like just like that Disney movie, yeah, Pixar. So, but yeah, that's kind of my thing. I don't know in particular order, but I think I've made the shepherd's pie the most. I think I've made that dish the most. So
Right on.
I'm gonna go with that one as my number one.
Yeah, right on. Very good. Yeah. Pasta sauce, burgers. If y'all haven't had my burgers, they nothing to sneeze at. chocolate chip cookies, cracker brittle. Do I have a fifth? I don't know. Barbecue chicken. No. Because this week it was dry. I'm sorry.
For the record, this week's barbecue was not on point. It was not
It
good.
wasn't where it's at. But
Thank you.
yeah.
Keep it real.
Yeah, we're keeping when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah. Thank you both so much for being a part of it.
Yeah, Joy does that every day.
All right. Next up, we have our lovely ladies, Alicia and Odalis.
Oh no!
You now. He who says it does it. All right. Please pick.
Adalis, you go first. You're gonna go with food? Okay.
Yes.
Leftover.
Ooh, okay.
Oh no, you.
Oh man, I mean the food I said on my cooking recipe, so I could have any of those leftovers. I gotta say though, I have had Joey's pasta leftover, which is also another great hangover food. Leftovers. Let's see. There's tons, man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we usually end up like eating the food that we have. Oh yeah. We get a little lazy on it sometimes.
We don't really eat our leftovers, to be honest.
I mean, so we were talking Trader Joe's like foods earlier, and we've been getting the orange chicken, which has been really good, and I think it tastes good like the next day too. It holds its flavor or whatever. If you keep the sauce, yeah. If you don't dry out the sauce, then it's shit. So leftovers. Actually, the chicken adobo I make too. It's good for a few days. It's weird though because it turns into this kind of like gelatin kind of base because of all the like fats and grease or whatever. But when you microwave or put it back in a pot, it tastes really good the next day, like you just made it. So. Leftovers, I guess cookies count? Like, if you make a good batch of cookies, you can have them, next day or whatever. So, and then what else? Shoot. Probably, let's see, there are some I mean, there's like you barbecue like chicken sometimes.
I thought you were gonna say if you barf.
If you barf in a bag and put it in the fridge overnight. So, no, I think like if you have like a good barbecue, I love the like chicken barbecue. So maybe like something like that. If it's like a dry rub or if it's a sauce one, make sure you have the extra sauce on the side. But that's kind of it. I don't know, leftovers. I guess I'm not great at leftovers, unfortunately.
I want to hear the other side
goes
of the
bad the next
leftovers
day or
conversation from you.
We have a lot of pizza leftovers, and then the tacos. Sometimes I make
Oh, yeah,
these little
tacos, yeah.
kind of croissant kind of tacos things, and then so it's a lot of leftovers.
Can you explain what that is?
Oh, so I get the Pillsbury from the and then I open it, and then like I layered it all out. In
It's like the
circle.
croissant,
The croissant,
Pillsbury, yeah.
And then I just lay out the meat, and then I put in like the taco sauce, and then like we can add any vegetables you guys like, and then you just fold it afterwards, and it's kind of like cool. And then you can add like your lettuce or stuff like that, and then add like Mexican like sauce.
It's really good.
Standing applause from the Peanut Gallery.
That's all we need to list right now. It's just that.
Is there anything that can top that?
I also make calzone versions of pizza too.
Some versions of the pizza too.
Yeah.
All right, now you guys need to move to the base.
Gotta move back. Anything else that you'd recommend?
Let's see. I don't know. I mean, what else And I mean, I always ask him like, what do you want to eat? He's like, I always let him choose what he wants me to cook.
I don't really care, honestly. I feel like we always. I feel like we. Don't worry, man. Yeah, I don't know. Listen.
Well, it sounds really good. It sounds really good.
Oh, leftovers?
Yeah.
The pasta that you make. Because you make it the pasta. Wow, that was the half of me, the Italian half, is really, really screaming there. You make the penne pasta and then you fry it in oil the day after. And it's like, holy moly, I am going to have a heart attack, but this is so good. We also, what is the best leftovers? The thing is, like, we do this disgusting thing. We haven't done it in a bit because I die every time. We get a bunch of Chinese food, like a bunch of Chinese food. We get a bunch of Chinese food, and it's like, I don't want to eat this because it's just, it gets a lot, and then I just am stuffed, like 20, yeah.
Well, your stomach becomes cement.
My stomach becomes cement, and no one wants to hear about that on live television. But anyway, I would also say just literally I take just things in the fridge and I just throw them into the food and I just make it. So it's like we have leftover vegetables. I make an egg mess out of it. So what I do is I put it with rice. So it's like, say we have Brussels sprouts, I put it with rice, kimchi, egg, my egg mess. I do variation of egg messes. We love egg messes. So yeah,
Hey.
thank you. Anything involving an egg is really the solution to every problem in the world. I would say. And I think that covers about all my leftovers. Honestly, I don't really know what else is there. Joseph?
I too would say my fried pasta. Pizza of any kind. And the thing I love about pizza leftovers, it can be cold, it can be warm, it can be hot, just not frozen. That's the only kind you can't eat. No microwave. You had a wonderful tweet about that the other day. Yeah. I guess that's maybe it. It's hard.
It's a hard one.
It's hard. I could do fries if I put them in the oven.
Never
Fuck
the same.
you.
That is your mother.
I'm kidding. Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah. I don't know. If you get a really big burrito, I guess.
Oh, that's it. The half of a burrito, the burrito half that's like all the hard stuff after, not hard, but cemented stuff.
The refrigerated.
The good cement,
Yeah.
where it's and it's a cold burrito. Just like any sort of beans. That's what. Beans and eggs. I'm the worst person to live with. Anyway.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Is that it? Okay.
Oh, would you like to choose?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm the cold at the time.
What category do you want to choose from?
Video games? Are you down for video? Or movies? Movies.
Yeah.
See if we enjoy this.
Thank you.
Christmas movies?
It's July. Let's pick something different.
Oh, okay. No, Criterion releases?
I like that one better.
We can do Christmas.
Okay.
I have to say the Jim Carrey How the Grinch Stole Christmas, my #1 favorite movie. Charlie Brown Christmas movie. What else? I watched Elf for the first time. Elf, so it's a good movie.
R.I.P. James Caan.
What else?
You're not on Twitter, bro.
Can't think of anything else. Jeez. Whatever Netflix new Christmas movie comes out, we'll watch that.
I also realized we had your choices, the entire point of the show, which is your choices to look back on for the leftovers.
Oh, yeah.
So real quick, Joey, your leftovers, pasty,
Yeah.
biscuits and gravy. Sir, what?
Yeah, what am I talking
Pizza, same.
Yes.
4, garlic potatoes.
Ooh, yeah, I'd fuck up some garlic potatoes, yeah.
You can't, okay, bias. Joe's Burger, 5. And Sean, for you, 1, Golden Boy pizza. 2, oh yeah. 2, pasta. 3, shepherd's pie. Back at it again. 4, lumpia. 5, Chinese food. How contradictory.
All right, all right.
Okay, back to the Christmas
Back to
movies.
Christmas movies.
Sean, do you have any favorite Christmas movies? Because we have it on the list.
I like the Grinch Stole Christmas. I like the sorry. I like the Grinch Stole Christmas. I think one traditional movie. I think it's been overplayed a lot on TBS though, but it's a movie we watch every year, especially with my grandma. Is A Christmas Story, which is like just such a traditional Christmas movie. So that one. I don't know if this would count, but the movie Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart. It's kind of like a rom-com, but it takes place during the holiday season, so that would be on there. Christmas movies. Gosh. The obvious.
The obvious?
8 Crazy Nights. I mean, 8 Crazy Nights, dude. Freaking Adam Sandler, like his animated movie. I always used to laugh. Do I got one more? Let's see. Oh, I know it's a show, dude. I told that like 4 times. Yeah. I guess, yeah, because that
Good one, Fiona. It is a Christmas movie.
Nightmare Before Christmas, because it is kind of a Halloween. It's a seasonal Christmas movie. I know I don't think about Christmas all the time, unfortunately. So yeah, those are my movies. Yeah, there we go.
I would say Elf is pretty good. Elf is mostly because like the family thing. It's like we all sit around and watch Elf. I don't know. The beginning of Elf always made me really sad because the baby got in the bag, and I was like, oh my God, he's gonna miss his family. But I guess looking back, he was in the orphanage anyway, so it would have been a little. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it when babies get taken away from. Anyway, that's a note of mine. I like Elf. I do like A Christmas Story. It's very, very good. The hounds from next door that steal the turkey. Yes,
That's a
I
great scene,
vibe with
yeah.
that. And you're gonna shoot your eye out. I tell you that constantly. Whenever you move too fast, it's the same vibe because I'm like, you're gonna break your neck. Oh, thank you. Straight up delivery. Score.
Thank you, Noah.
That's mine then. And honestly, I don't got 5 for you. I do love the Grinch. I think the Christmas movie wise, it's more so just like Elf over and over and over again, which is just a symptom of being raised in my family. So that's me.
There you go.
Santa Claus #1 with Tim Allen. What? I'm not a big Home Alone guy.
Oh, I forgot about Home Alone.
You know.
I'll throw it on there because there's not too many. The Night Before with Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is pretty funny. The Grinch animated classic. I haven't seen the Jim Carrey Grinch, if you can believe that.
I can't believe it.
And 8 Crazy Nights, the Adam Sandler animated movie. Yeah.
What about Bad Santa?
But I don't think I've seen Bad Santa. I haven't seen Bad Santa. I put Home Alone on there.
Should we go to the past list?
Yes.
All right, Joey, #1, The Santa Claus. #2, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Interesting. What year is this?
I don't know.
3, The Night Before.
I said it.
4, 8 Crazy Nights.
Said it.
5, Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
It's Christmas.
It takes place at Christmas, yeah. Yeah. I'll allow it because it's my show.
And Sean, you are Elf, but it has an S in it, so it says self. Self. Joey wrote self. I love that.
I was typing these lists for like 4 days. I was like,
#2, A Christmas Story. #3, Just Friends. #4, Home Alone 1 and 2.
You cheater.
Yeah.
We're allowed. Yeah, it's your show.
And #5, A Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I do love that movie.
I'm so glad Pat.
Is Michael Caine in that?
Michael
Is Michael Caine in that?
Michael
It's Michael
Caine's in that.
Caine. Is Friday After Next Christmas? It is, isn't it?
That's another list, though, I feel like.
Thank you, ladies.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part.
Thanks.
All right. Next up, Matthew and Danny Rodriguez, if you guys would like to join us.
Make sure to duck.
You guys look super trendy.
So who would you like to go first? Who wants to choose?
Oh shit. Let's do movies and TV.
Yeah, save it for.
True story movies.
Movies based on a true story.
That's so specific.
Chase,
Who knows? Yeah.
it's your show.
Animated films. That's right up your alley.
Is that?
That was our
Yeah.
second episode or something when you came on. You were our first guest.
Oh yeah.
Danny was our first guest.
See how it goes.
Should have ended right.
Yeah, let's see if it's the same.
Okay. I don't have it written down for this one, I don't think. Do we? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, go.
I'm like,
Okay, I think Sleeping Beauty, Walt Disney's 1959 classic. The Iron Giant, it's great. Brad Bird. Another Brad Bird, Ratatouille. To go with your, to go on theme with your Ratatouille dish. What is that, 3? I guess Pinocchio. Cautionary Tale. And then what's the last one? Shoot, dig deep. I want to say, let's just say Snow White because it's the first one.
No Pixar movies on your list.
Just the one, Ratatouille. I'm not a company man.
We'll edit that part out.
Yeah. It's before I got there.
3 days. You can go last. Yeah. Do research. Sonny, would you like to go next? Okay. Aladdin is my number 1 because of Robin Williams. Zootopia. I don't know where, but it's on there. We watched it recently, and I've been singing "Try Everything," the Shakira song. Like, just if you look at our whiteboard, it's the two of us singing and dancing that song. That's what our word bubbles say. Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. It's a great movie. And
a real thing?
Yeah. It came out
What year?
93.
It's nothing but on brand.
I'm gonna go first Toy Story, and I got one more. I'll say Lion King. It's kind of basic, but I'm gonna go Lion King. Yeah.
that's early childhood.
Yeah, that's one of the first movies I remember seeing in theater. Yeah. And my nan did the whole like, oh, when I'm gone, look at the stars and kind of thing. So that was, I drew her a Lion King picture and she had that up.
Heartstrings.
Yeah. Cry for me. So that's my 5. Shawnee, what are your 5?
I will go with Aladdin because that is actually one of the. We were talking about this the other day because we were, talking about what are the movies that I watched like a million times when I was a little kid. It was probably Aladdin. So I'll go with Aladdin. I think I had. I don't know if I'm remembering the previous list, but I think I had Zootopia on there too. It was an unexpectedly good movie, and it had a lot to pull from it. So I found that a very interesting movie. I gotta say, this is funny because Danny's here. Into the Spider-Verse, which
Oh my God! How did? Yeah.
Danny worked on that movie,
So good.
and
Give Danny a round of applause.
it was a good movie, man. Yeah. I mean, for being a Spider-Man fan and seeing something so unique and different, I thought it was a really cool movie. And yeah, it's become one of my favorite kind of animated movies in the last few years. So
It's a beautiful, beautiful movie.
it's a beautiful movie. Animated. I'm gonna pull back in the. It's mostly I feel like like the Disney stuff. So I'm gonna go with Toy Story. I did like. I mean, the whole series is great, but the first one I think has a lot more kind of connection and nostalgia to it. Kind of seeing something. I mean, it was so unique at the time too, for being its kind of first big CG or animated characters and stuff. And what else? It's funny because we've been watching like a lot of animated stuff with Flynn. So it's like there's so much stuff now. What did we watch? I feel like we watched something recently. I guess yeah. I guess would the kind of stop animation count for this one?
It's your show.
I would say. I guess in the Tim Burton world, it was probably Nightmare Before Christmas because it's kind of another very unique kind of movie, and it had it had the kind of Halloween Christmas mixture together. It showed us what stop animation was really and how that was kind of how they make movies like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's a good list. That's a good list.
Good list, Sean. Strong. No order. I'm going to steal one from your Christmas movie, 8 Crazy Nights, Adam Sandler. It's a classic. Great soundtrack, too. Kind of a musical.
Honestly.
Yeah. Really good. Shrek.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Shrek's fire. Coco.
Coco's good. Yeah.
Un Poco Loco. That one's really good. Toy Story 2. You already said Toy Story. I prefer Sid because he's great in Toy Story 1, but Newman's incredible as well. Yeah, with the toy barn. So I'll go with Toy Story 2, and then the last one, just watched it recently. Shout out to the wifey, Lilo and Stitch. Never seen it before until a couple of years ago. Incredible film, and Nani, pretty thick. So you win on all counts. Well, you probably should. It's good.
I know. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so that's I think that's 5. I did it all on top of the dome. So thank you. Should we read out your old list?
Yeah.
All right. So animated films back in when do you think this was done? 2015.
Yeah.
Joey, Land Before Time / Lion King. Is that yeah? Zootopia, Toy Story, Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, and Aladdin.
All right. So yeah.
Jonathan, Spirited Away. Coraline. Zootopia, Aladdin, and Toy Story. So very similar list. And then Danny, Ratatouille. Up. No, he said Up. Up's a crier.
That one's fallen off since then.
Yeah.
Too many watches.
The Iron Giant, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty.
Okay.
Maddie, would you like to pick one?
I just picked, so Danny, why don't you
Sorry.
pick?
Do you want to do movies?
Do that again?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
The miscellaneous.
Yeah,
Kind of calling to me. All right. I don't play enough video games for that.
There's a lot of wild.
I have
cards
nothing
in
to
there.
contribute to that
Yeah.
conversation. Desk essentials and wedding movies. That's specific too.
It's just desk essentials.
We did that one recently too.
You can choose.
Keyboard, mouse, monitor, took care of it. Done. One and done.
Animators, they're just like us.
Conspiracy theories. Jeez. This is
It's like we need the
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah. Hey, Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to do some research on this one.
I mean, I know you got a couple already.
One or two off the top of the dome, but
Do we want to do a different one?
I feel like
Should we have crowd input? Would the crowd like to?
what would the crowd like?
Any crowd
Is this too much to take on right now?
I have one.
Magic bullet theory. Down to the left.
Avril Lavigne? Yeah. Is she real? Someone replaced Avril Lavigne. Yeah.
is Kel alive?
real?
I don't know.
Is Helen Keller real?
Who knows?
She wasn't blind.
She was not real. A phony. An absolute phony. That's what I say. That's my favorite.
Should we do a different one?
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
This miscellaneous bowl is.
Crazy, everybody.
Just gauging the audience.
This is close to us like vetting all of these, like, this might not be too tough.
Okay. Let's see. Halloween costumes.
I was on the show.
Should we pull from the movies after all?
You just show up from the last audio. Oh, I did. Here you go.
Check.
Movies and TV. Scorsese, De Niro.
Yes, you both know. How many movies did they make 10 movies together? Okay.
This is not a good look
So
for me.
Between the three of us, we'll run out.
You got 7 minutes.
Comedic villains?
Yeah, like villains in a comedy movie?
Sure. I'll have to think about this one, but sure.
Villains in okay, let's go. Villains in a comedy movie. Mugatu from Zoolander, played by Will Ferrell. Genius. I mean, he totally commits to the role, and he's just fucking hilarious.
He does this thing with his latte.
I told you to get me. I told you to get me.
Between non-fat, no politics. It makes me fart.
We just watched Dodgeball like recently too, and Ben Stiller in that one is hilarious. He goes to the extreme, and I guess I could piggyback off of that one. And he plays the exact same character in a movie called Heavyweights, where he's pretty much the same guy. He's like too extreme. Like he's just What about Dr. Evil from Austin Powers, played by son of
The light fixture king.
Yeah. Three, 4, 5 comedy villains. I mean, it's weird. He's not like the main villain, and it's still in the Austin Powers world. But Will Ferrell playing Fez, the guy who cannot die. He pretty much just. That. He's like, you gotta say it 3 times before I tell you. So that's kind of it. Yeah, I feel like there's more, but yeah.
Okay, very good. You took a lot that I would have taken. I'm gonna go Glenn Guglia from Wedding Singer. Sorry. I'm gonna go. I just had. Dean Pritchard from Old School.
Greatest movie ever.
It's so good. It's so good. I'll go number 2 from Austin Powers. Rob Lowe. Actually, and Rob Lowe in Wayne's World.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. That's 3 or 4. It's 4. And then I'll do Rose Byrne in Spy. She's very funny in that movie. And she says this line, and I'm really sorry to everyone. But Alyssa McCarthy says something, and she just goes, "What a stupid fucking retarded idea that is." And it gets me every time. And I'm just gonna,
I guess I'll go. Sean, you also said a lot of what I was going to say. I guess the inconceivable guy from Princess Bride.
Inconceivable.
I'll raise you number 2, Robert Wagner.
Okay.
Dipping into conspiracy theories.
Yeah, because he actually is a villain.
Yeah. Did he or did he not murder Natalie Wood?
I don't believe one can do it.
No, Walken didn't do it.
No.
God bless him. Comedic villains. Some would say that Bane from The Dark Knight Rises has become pretty funny,
Yeah, with that accent and everything.
unintentionally.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Jafar from Aladdin. That guy's got some jokes in him.
Iago is more of the
Iago, yeah. R.I.P. to Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah.
True. Great voice.
Great voice.
One of the best voices of all
Yeah.
time.
Or worse, depending on where you stand.
That five?
That's 5.
Is that 5?
I don't know.
All right.
Good work.
Someone's keeping track.
Thank God.
All right. Joey took my best one. This is the one I tried to create this list off of. Glenn Julia, wedding singer, one of the best comedy villains of all time.
You followed up with the equally best.
Just wait.
All right.
Just wait. Got to diversify the list a little bit. Regina George, Mean Girls.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Thank you. Really good. From Billy Madison, Eric Gordon. Eric is pregnant. He tries to take Billy Madison's enterprise, the entire movie. That's a really good one. Tony Perkis was on my list from Heavyweights. And then the last one, for me, for my money, best comedy villain of all time, I think, would be Shooter McGavin.
Shooter, dude!
From Happy Gilmore. And then nobody said it surprising. I don't know how you Jamokes didn't say that.
I bet you anything.
I think he's the best one. And then last honorable mention would be Sid. Not really a full villain, but from Big Daddy. He stole his girl, the guy that worked at Hooters with the 5-year plan. Old balls.
You want a surprise one? Bradley Cooper,
Wedding Crashers, yeah.
The sack.
The sack.
Sack lunch. Num 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 num.
That's what Marilyn does.
We're off playing a villain.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Good. That's top of the list.
So are we down to our last?
Seems so.
Oh, and
Whoa.
Simon's not here.
I know.
We're gonna have blind issues. Just be at the table. So we've got 3/4. Hopkins, would you like to step on up?
Hopkins, what's up, man?
And also, if anyone would like to participate, just raise your phone.
Yeah, we have tons of lists.
We have
Full
so many. But
I'm not giving up my microphone, though.
Game recognized game, huh?
there we go. Cheers.
Thank you for having me on, folks.
Thanks for being here.
It's been tough to follow up after everybody. Everybody's been really, really good so far. Thank you.
Yeah, hard time. You're good.
Thanks. Okay, so which one do you want to go out of? Because I'll pick whatever you want to go out of.
I don't.
Music.
Dude, we haven't.
That's why we're ending the
Okay.
show, 'cause I don't.
We're gonna do music. I don't think we've done music.
Music, okay.
You can't do top 5 blind issue songs. Top 5 blind issue songs.
I mean,
We could.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy! Top 5 blind issue songs.
Hold, are you serious?
What an insane
No,
turn
you're
of events!
serious.
Wow,
he's serious.
that's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Number 1, Parents Are Nazis.
Yeah. I think number 1 is Parents Are Nazis. I'll go backwards. Number 1 is Parents Are Nazis.
Okay.
Number 2 is Home. Number 3 is This Always Happens.
Yes.
Number 4 is The People versus the FCC. And then number 5. Captain Ace and his. I love that. It's such a good one. Number 5, I think is gonna be A Fair Time, because it's just what an OG song.
We always tend to when we get back together and practice, we always tend to hit that one first.
Yeah.
Usually, right?
Mhm.
That's the second or third one where it's like, now we're clicking.
Yeah.
Now we're good.
We all look at each other and we're like, yes.
Feels good. Feels good.
Oh, you move on.
Okay.
Sean, you go for it.
I freaking love Generation Jasper. That's a fun little song. We have a little breakdown in the middle, and like it was I think one of the few songs that we had that you guys are kind of like switching verses and singing different
One
parts.
of the few songs we wrote about a predator.
Yeah, it's all coming out now.
Started talking to me on the bus stop. I was waiting for you. Not waiting for you. I was waiting for the bus to go see you. And God, we were 13, 14. Oh, sorry, thank you. And he's like, "You guys smoke weed?" I was like, "No, I'm a good boy." You know, you will when you have a lot of pressure, and when you have a wife, and when you have a job, you'll want it. And I was like, "Yeah." Jasper, Daly City Jasper. He was just the local pedo. just the local pedo. While I was waiting for Sam Trans. Anyway, we wrote a song about him,
Yes, it's on there.
and it's Sean's number one.
It's number 5 for me. 4, I've got. Oh God, we have so many. Scripts End was a pretty dope one.
Yeah.
Scripts End. So yeah, Scripts End. Number 3, I'm gonna go A Fair Time. Number 2, This Always Happens, and actually number 1, which is a recent one we've done, is Low Cut Dress.
Ooh.
It's one of my favorite songs to play with you guys.
It's fun.
And it's just a fun time every time we play it. So
That's a guitar song.
it's
for
a guitar
sure.
song.
Yeah.
And it has that, we originally called it the Weezer song because it sounded like a Weezer.
It sounds like it's off the Blue Album.
And so I think that's, it has that kind of fun, playfulness to the song, and that's what I played it with you guys.
I love it. I
yeah.
love it. I would go Circus Witch, which was a lot of fun. I mean, that was an easy kind of like, it could be a standard punk song, and then I showed it to you guys, and you were like, what if we played the bass like dun, 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 and everything clicked. You know what I mean? And that's like true collaboration, and it was beautiful. And it was a fun song to play.
We love you.
I'd go Unjust, I think, was a fun one. Failure was, I think, the last time we played that live was a good time. I'd put Home at number 2.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only second to This Always Happens because I feel like that was the first song where it's like, oh, we each have 25% in this. Everyone brought something to the table on that one, and now we close with it. And it's a fun one. I love that song. From the bass, from everything you're doing on the guitar, from everything Simon's doing on the drums. I think that's where we dialed it in.
Nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
That'd be, yeah. And we're supposed to have, Simon here. Would you like to choose another one?
Other more songs that Andrew likes.
What was the drum?
Yeah, actually, so what I pulled was music documentaries. And this is actually one that I was on this episode. So I want to tell you what I think are my favorite music documentaries. All right. Number 1, Airheads with Adam Sandler. Good music documentary.
Very true.
Number 2, Rockstar. Another great music documentary.
Man. Mark
real
Wahlberg
story, real
doing
story.
his best right
all
there.
Real characters.
Switching from
all
hip
real
hop to rock.
characters. Only true. I'm a soothsayer, and I speak in suits. Number 3, School of Rock. Yes. Jack Black, another good documentary. Number 4, Back to the Future. Again, another great documentary. And number 5, Big. Tom Hanks' Big. Musical documentary. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah. Thanks.
Johnny, what are your top 5
I don't know how to follow that. True documentaries? I really love there's a Motown documentary called Standing on the Shoulders of Motown. It talks about the backing band. Thank you so much. Cheers, thank you. It talks about the backing band behind the Motown songs, all the famous songs they had. It was one band called the Funkadelics, and
they played all the music on all those records. So it was really interesting to hear, kind of this was the soul sound of Motown records. And, staying on the shadows of Motown. It Might Get Loud, which is one that has Jimmy Page, Jack White, and The Edge from U2, and they just sit those three guys together in a room and talk about their music influences, their guitar styles, and how different and similar. And it's kind of crazy because it's like different generations of guitar players too. So. They're Jack White's like, I look up to Zeppelin and Jimmy Page, and I'm a huge, my sound comes from, what you were playing. So I think it's really cool to see like that, interaction between these three different guitar players, but they all kind of influenced each other.
Before you move on from that, can I tell you
Yes.
my favorite part of that documentary?
Yes.
Is when Jimmy Page is showing everybody how to play like Whole Lotta Love or something that's really intricate. And then Jack White is like, this is how you play Seven Nation Army. Bump, 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 bump. It's just the funniest thing because like Jimmy Page was like, oh man, and then you take the harmonics from like these and like it's all in like the minor pentatonic. And Jack White's like, I have a finger and it goes on the guitar and then it goes up and down and I am a great. That's my favorite part of that documentary.
It is cool because they all have like different approaches to music, and but they all have that love for like kind of creating their own sound and expressing what they're trying to say out of their instruments. So, but that is kind of funny. They're all kind of like they're different. They've learned Jimmy Page was like a session guy, so he knew a lot of theory and stuff. Whereas like Jack White was just a guy who kind of like learned as he kind of went into it. So that's really cool to see. Like I think that's really interesting. Number 3, man, there's so many music documentaries. Number 3, I'm gonna go with what's the Clash one that? There's a couple. There's one that I remember seeing with Joe. It was like a Joe Strummer focused one. So it talked about the life. Futurism. That's it. It talks about Joe Strummer and his life as a musician and kind of leading into the Clash and everything. I thought that was really cool and getting to know a little bit more about him. Number 2, we saw it with my dad, is the Ramones End of the Century.
That's a great one.
Where did we see that? The theater?
Movie theater.
The Roxy? The movie theater. The place where there's a screen, there's like a few chairs. That was really cool because we got to see it. I think it was on a little run, like it released and had like a few. It had a few like dates showing in the theaters, and it was cool to get to kind of learn a little more about the Ramones and their influence on music. Number 1, right? Number 1. Music documentaries. What else have I been watching? You know what? I actually really liked. There was a documentary series. I don't know if it's my number. Maybe this might be not my number one, but the Defiant Ones, which was on HBO, and it had the kind of life of like Dr. Dre and his influence on hip hop music, and it's kind of crazy. Like Dr. Dre, pretty much. Especially with like NWA and like they kind of influenced the next generation of hip hop, and I think till this day, I think they're kind of the biggest influencers in that area, and it just showed like where the kind of beginnings they had in his career, and then his now current influence on everyone. He's taking people under his wing and like producing stuff. So. Yeah, and I always loved like that. I mean, we were talking about the Chronic 2001 the other day, so.
Sophomore album
ones, yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. It's like a series documentary. Yeah. So yeah.
I'd put End of the Century at number 1 because it's great. It starts out as this ragtag group of morons figuring out a new sound, and then it becomes this weird love triangle, right? And all of them are just miserable. And it's sad, but it's really good. Dee Dee Ramone at the end is like, I guess it was kind of an ugly life. It's not easy being in a rock and roll band. 2, I would do the Get Back documentary that was on Disney Plus. Just fly on the wall. I love it because it was made 50 years from when it was shot, but there's no interviews with Paul McCartney now being like, well, actually, and or no Ringo being like, and so thank God for that. They just let it play, and it's the best document I've ever seen of the creative process of just like, all right, let's do it again and again and again until we get it right. The Last Waltz is great. It's about the band. They were Bob Dylan's backing band for a number of years, and they played their final show Thanksgiving in San Francisco. Was it the Fillmore? Yeah. And Scorsese filmed it, and it was fantastic. I'm trying to think what else. The Urethra Chronicles, Blink-182, which is basically just Jackass, but with our favorite band members.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then I'll go. I'll also do the Clash, but I'll do the London Calling making of documentary, where you get into. Is it Guy Stevens was the producer, throwing chairs and swinging ladders while they're recording and keeping them on their toes.
Yeah.
And, that's
cool.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
That's my 5.
Nice.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Time check.
Is there anyone that would like to participate? Anyone that would like to come up and do a list?
And we're also, I know we have a few lists here. I don't know if anyone has a suggested list. If there's anything we might not have
That too.
In the pool.
Just shout it out. Top 5.
Oh, dude, we gotta go through that. Shit, that's a lot.
Films, TV, records.
Like all time.
All time.
All times.
Video games.
Yeah, it's pretty much all our top.
And superheroes. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would be your top 5? Top 5s.
I mean, like episode or just like the list. I mean, I don't know. There's so many. I cannot even. Because we've split them up in so many different directions, but I think the ones that we've done where we do, like we did a recent one, I think it was like sophomore albums, like kind of the reminiscing about, always the music-centered ones, I always feel. I think live shows, we did one like live shows. We always kind of think about, like we were just talking about live shows earlier too. Top 5.
Track 1, side 1s.
Track 1, side 1s, like very specific ones.
It's tough. I mean, so this is our 246th episode.
Yes.
And somewhere early on, we started doing 2 lists an episode. So
yeah, those are quite a lot.
We're at 500 or so. And at a certain point, you go, fuck.
What have we not thought of?
We have nothing else to talk about. Yeah. I can't either. Yeah. Would anyone like to take the hot seat? Would anyone like to? No? Are we good? Do we just want to get to the party? All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you all so much for coming out.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Speech?
Do you have like share time? Do you have any share time?
I don't have a share time.
Any share
Do you have a
times?
share time?
So last night, O'Dallas was like, "Hey, what are we doing in the morning?" I was like, "I don't know. We can go somewhere and get some food and hang out before we go to do the podcast and everything." And she said, "Have you heard of this place called Hot Cookie?" And I was like, "No, what is this place?" And we looked these up, and they're like just these cookies that are shaped very interestingly. And we went to Castro today, and we found these, and they're these like dick-shaped cookies.
Can we get a picture of that?
A little history lesson.
You've been watching too much porn, sir.
A little history lesson. We'll try these later, but We were about to call this the podcast "The Sex Effects Presents" because that was like our little group that we made up, and for some reason Joey always kept drawing like dicks and stuff to represent the show. I don't know.
Yeah, why? I don't know. We're just called the Sex Effects.
So we
I
did.
would, well, to be fair, I would draw the dick, but our name would be in the explosion.
I don't know why we thought of this, but we were
We were in London. We were in the tube. But yeah, man, it's been great. It's been a good 7-year run.
Yes.
And we're calling this finale, but it's not necessarily, I'm sure we'll talk about Year End List. I'm sure we'll talk about certain movies when they come out.
Yeah, well, it's been really cool to like do that. Joey, I live in Los Angeles, Joey's here, and it's always great when we get these we get to do them together in the same space, and I feel like that should be the show, and I think if we do further episodes in the future, baby. That'll be.
You're having a baby?
I'm having a baby. Yes.
Holy shit!
That too. Yeah.
Whoa.
My top fives will be probably a lot different now.
A lot different.
But yeah, it's been great, and we've had like such great guests come on the show and good friends of ours, and it's been a great way to like stay in contact and keep up our friendship too. And I think. I don't know. It's been a great run, and we're just even looking at this. These are all these pieces of paper here are lists we've done. We've done so many episodes over these last few years.
So many pieces of paper.
So many pieces of paper and top fives lists that we can't remember, but yeah, I think this was a perfect kind of event and thing to do to kind of top it off and have our friends and family here to kind of celebrate with us. So we really appreciate you guys being here, and anyone who's watching this on the Twitch stream or whatever, thanks for watching.
If there's anyone.
If there's anyone.
We called it the imaginary audience for 7 years.
Yes.
And it is.
Yes.
So to everyone who is here and everyone who is not, may these be the worst of our days. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Time to party.